I'm Jane Lauterbach. We're glad you're here to join us with The Purpose Works. And today we're going to talk about what's the real difference. Is it aptitude or attitude? And we'll tell you right up front, it's all about attitude. We say many times it's skill set that will get you in the door, whether you're head of sales, you're head of HR, you're a carpenter, a radiologist, a pharmacist, no matter what it is, the connection that we make, the reason we do the work that we do with the people that we choose to do it with is all about trust and relationship, and it gets down to attitude. So we've got a couple of facts to share with you that really illustrate this point. And that is that when you have a positive or winning attitude, you can get 7x in return versus those that have just the basic kind of regular attitude. The other stat says that 87% of revenue is generated through soft skills. We always wonder why they call them soft skills if they're so strong in generating revenue. And the other thing is 89% of people who lose their position because of attitude is because of this problem with their personality. And so those important, I'll call them extraordinary soft skills, honesty, commitment, resilience, informed perspective, positivity, the willingness to be coached and to help other people along the way, showing them that you really care. This is how we get to being outperformers. This is the responsibility that we bring as leaders. And so it's just really interesting how a more positive attitude can not only be important in solving a problem, but that's really what creates, that's culture. That's why people want to go to work. Someone's got my back, we can help each other, we're doing something important, and we're not getting down in this sort of like sniping at each other, which seems to be kind of part of our cultural zeitgeist this day. But if we're able to form important bonds, develop that advocacy, be there both internally and externally for each other, that's the foundation for success. That's the foundation for meaningful outcomes for everybody. And so when we think about how we want to be surrounded by others, it does increase that creativity and that collaboration. So we took a look at some other studies. We looked at Barbara Fredrickson. She's a professor, a researcher at the University of Northern California, and she sums it up this way. She says, people who experience and express positive emotions are frequently more resilient, more resourceful, more socially connected, and more likely to function at optimum levels. And so really you can decide, as my mother would always say, you get to choose, the glass is half empty or the glass is half full. And so which way would you want to go? And so when we get to all the different kinds of challenges that we have to face today, take a pause and decide which direction you want to go into. But if you want to take the one where you want to accelerate the pathway and do better work and create more humane, better places to work, it's around having that right attitude. It doesn't always necessarily mean that you have to have all the answers. It's not always about aptitude. And so here's just a couple of things to think about when you think about, what is that attitude? How do you actually put that into practice? It's being a part of something and not walking away from it. Helping to solve the problems, being sort of participating in it as an equal member. And I think it's always around, and sometimes it's particularly hard these days, how do you want to maintain that level of professionalism? When things get a little bit negative, are you going to go in that direction? No. How do you maintain that sort of approach around a community of people that you're working with that really is going to be about where do we find the strength? Where do we want to leverage things? We don't need to spend a whole lot of time in negativity land, do we? It's really recognizing that many times it's about having the courage and having the courage to do the right thing and having the courage to do the right thing even when the approach from other people can in fact be very disrespectful. And so if we want to go do the good work, it's about dedication, persistence, having that focus, and really that practice of what are we trying to create and what do we want to do together. If you found this video of value, we always welcome your comments. Please share it with other people and join us at The Purpose Works. Thank you.